Hello everybody and welcome back to podcast number 7. For the people who have been with us from the start, thank you for sticking with us. If not, if you are new to us today, welcome. So today we want to be talking about Terror in Resonance. It's an anime that we have both just finished recently.
It sounds like a piece of art, doesn't it?
Terror Resonance.
Like it's in a gallery or something. And here we have Terror in Resonance.
So what was it? It was 11 episodes, was it?
I think so. I don't know.
So yeah, it was
Not long.
It ran for 11 episodes, which again is relatively short. But same as always, going to judge it on the art style, the audio, the sound sort, and also the story itself. But as always, let's start off with the story of it. For me, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic story. I mean, I would just say 11 episodes seemed a bit short for me. I mean, it didn't have that sort of Death Note feel where it had gone on for a big amount of episodes.
Yeah, but Death Note doesn't feel like it drags or anything.
No, but I mean, obviously it was a longer one and it felt like it could keep going with different things, whereas this, I felt, was a very, very similar sort of story to Death Note.
Apart from it, there weren't any kind of supernatural elements.
No, but it was a similar sort of story on the killing side of things. But in the same sort of way that I didn't feel like it could have ran for as long as Death Note did either.
No. And they had a pretty strict time limit on them anyway within the story, so if it kept going forever, I think that would have lost its impact as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the things where you always question, I've got so many questions, that they're going to reveal something, and then it slowly unravelled, everything that you was asking, towards the end. I mean, that was a question we're running short on time. I was like, well, why? Why are you short on time? And it took until the last 2 or 3 episodes to finally tell you why, didn't it?
We still don't really know what kind of experimentation was being done on them, though, do we?
I don't know, actually.
Because if they told us, I missed it.
I can't remember. I'm sure they said what they was trying to create. I'm sure they was trying to create the perfect person, something like that. I can't remember, honestly.
No, I can't either. But anyway, it was really inhumane testing, and whatever they'd done to them meant they had a pretty strict time limit that they only had so long left to live because it didn't work.
I think it's really good the way that they tied it all in. It all eventually, come the end of it, is you've got this time limit. They reach the end of the time limit. They've done everything they need to, but then everything that they wanted to do they'd done it. It was really good the way they'd finished it all up anyway. And
I really didn't like what number was she, 5?
Yeah.
Didn't like her. I didn't really overly see the point in her either.
It was just she was the only other one that survived, wasn't it?
She looks like a friggin' dandelion or a cotton wool puff or something.
I think the whole point of her was obviously there was the 3 of them that survived out of this camp, and they was trying to lure her out so they could save her, which went horribly wrong.
They can't save her though, because if they could save her, they'd have saved themselves, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that was it. I think they was just trying to...
They were trying to reveal everything that had happened to them.
Yeah.
They were trying to get some justice for the crap that had happened, and I guess they wanted her to have that as well.
Yeah. Which in a way I suppose they did.
And they wanted to make sure she knew that they didn't leave her behind. They thought she didn't make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They thought she was dead, didn't they?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, overall for the story, I don't really give out 10 out of 10s, but I'd definitely give it 9 out of 10 for the story.
I'd give it 8.
Okay.
It's a good story, but I don't feel like it was clear what was actually happening in terms of experimentation.
Yeah.
I'd have liked to have actually seen some more of what... Huh?
What actually happened
Yes,
in the testing.
some more of the facility. Because they wanted their story out there. Maybe that's the point. Maybe because they died, that they don't want that their story never got out there.
Maybe.
So maybe that's why you don't find out.
Maybe. I mean, I really liked the tie-in as well at the end with the old Von thing. Because she was like, what's this connection, what's this connection? And then...
I forgot about it, if I'm honest, until they said it at the end.
They did it at the start where it was like, here's Von on the floor and the spray paint, and they did this thing where they stole what was meant to have been plutonium, which actually turns out to be an atom bomb. And then every time they dropped a bomb, it was wrote on the bomb somewhere. And I was like, what is it? Is it like their trademark? Is it their symbol? And then obviously it gets revealed at the end of what that actually is. And you was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was still an unanswered question.
Yeah,
I'm glad that they finally tied it in.
This is where we disagree. The way that they kind of just dropped it in at the end, I thought was really lazy, and it kind of sucked.
No, I like it.
They were just like, oh, by the way, did you know this about blah blah blah? And it's like he was literally walking off. It had no context. It was just like she was like, oh crap, now I have to say this line because we totally forgot to tell everyone what that word means.
No, I think there'd have been no good way to do it anyway. And two, it just feels like that was the best way for them to have like closure, a sort of thing. Like it was 1 year later after they died, and they were just like, "Oh, off to see the grave, well, here's a little bit of information for you." It was like tied it into the copper who was trying to chase them down, like I suppose like a closure for him of, I finally got that final detail.
No, you see, from a writing perspective, I found it very lazy and a bit like jamming a puzzle piece that looks like it should fit but it doesn't. They should have found another way to explain it. It felt like they'd forgot about it and then suddenly had to tell you about it. To me.
Fair enough. Well, we'll call it an 8.5 then, somewhere in between yours and mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, the art style.
Western, wasn't it?
Very, very much of a Western style, yeah. But then I kind of like that. In a way, I'm not a big fan of the overly exaggerated faces and all that sort of thing.
It's more cartoony then, whereas for this story that wouldn't have worked.
No, it was the correct art style.
You get me to watch Monster. If they had that in that like proper cartoony anime style, that wouldn't work either.
Oh no, that'd be horrible.
Because it's a really serious topic. It's not like Seven Deadly Sins where it's all like, oh, I've stolen your panties and all this stuff. No. Same with Death Note. Death Note's that style similarly as well. It's not overly cartoony.
No, it's a Western style in the Japanese format, I think.
But I think art style's really important, depending on what kind of story you're telling.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they got the art style bang on, really, with it. They definitely went with the right style. It was a bit basic in places, like with shadowing and stuff like that. I thought it was a bit basic in places. A bit like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
A bit basic in places, but I think it kind of worked for the story. Same goes for like when they had all these explosions and all that. It was good, but it wasn't like wow, super pretty.
I don't think it was supposed to be pretty though. It's
yeah,
a bomb.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure I could pick a rating for it. I'd probably go with like a 7.
It's hard because there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't know. For me, art style, like, I don't know. It's not a big factor.
No, but it's one that obviously they got the art styles correct for it, but could they have pushed it and made it a little prettier? Is what I'm saying.
Maybe the landscaping and stuff, but I don't think it needed to be pretty. It's not a happy story, is it? It is grungy and dark, and it's not about how pretty everything is.
No, it's one of the things where obviously it's good, but could they put more detail into things?
I guess, but I don't think it's needed.
No, either way, I'd go for about a 7 anyway.
Yeah.
You agree? Now, getting on to audio, so it comes down to special effects, voice acting, the whole lot. And honestly, I didn't have a problem with any of it, really.
For me, with the animes, this is the problem. I care a lot about the story, a little about the artwork, could not give a crap about the audio. Like, it is what it is. If you're not going to hire crap voice actors, are you?
No, but in the same way, do you not feel like when you're watching, like, Makarov for Fairy Tail, when you hear him in other stuff, like, you heard him in Attack on Titan, and you was like, is that Makarov's voice? And you was looking at it going, holy crap, it is. I was saying for Urza, when you heard her in
Full Metal.
Full Metal, do you not get that thing of, oh, that's awesome, that's that voice actor, and all that
I guess
stuff?
it can get a bit samey. But with this one, I didn't recognise anyone.
No, same.
So I guess I get what you're saying. It didn't have a relation to the other, like, cartoony animes.
Yeah. I don't know, it's one of the things where you don't get that. Like, if you're watching a film and it's instantly billed as, for instance, Tom Cruise is in so-and-so.
Mission Impossible for the 10th time.
Everyone's like, oh, it's a Tom Cruise film. I'll check that out because it's Tom Cruise. Whereas this was one of the ones where you don't recognise any of the voices in it, so you're like, it's not like, oh, that's that person. You know that person's going to be awesome.
Very non-mainstream.
Yeah, but in the same way, it's good to get some fresh voices in, as far as I'm concerned. So again, I'd give it probably about the same again for audio, about a 7. Just for the same thing that you don't have that one strong person, you're like, oh, this person's going to be awesome just because of the voice actor. But in the same way, you got fresh voices coming into it.
I'd give it an 8 because they didn't play up to the fact of using build names.
They didn't have to, I suppose, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
23.5.
You've done the math, have you?
I think so.
I'm going to check the math, mainly because I don't trust Jem.
Well, hey.
Well, hey, she's got the maths right. So
I work in a school now. I'm smart.
7.8. So call it 8.
Yeah. Well, 7.8. Yeah.
8.
Are you rounding up, are you?
Yeah, call it an 8.
Okay.
So, I mean, overall, we're giving this a 8 out of 10, which I'd say is very, very fair.
Yeah, I mean, it was good while I was watching it, but it's not one of them that, like, I'll probably remember in a long time.
No, I mean, it's one of the, for me, the reason why I stick with 8 out of 10 being the correct thing as well is it was only 11 episodes, which for me is really disappointing. Because, don't get me wrong, I like my short animes, you know, something that you don't have to go, like, 2 months later and you're still going, I'm only a quarter of the way into this. Something that you can just pick up, get through it, and then maybe start a different anime in a few weeks' time.
No, I like the longer ones that you can get involved in.
That's it. I like the short ones, but in the same way, I felt like it could have run for a lot longer.
It's like Fairy Tail. If it was 11 episodes, would you be as into it as you are?
No.
Exactly.
No, but that's a different genre. I mean, for Fairy Tail, it's one of them ones where it's a sort of, I wouldn't call it a kids anime as such, but...
Okay then, but Death Note then, that's in the same genre.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer. Would you like Death Note as much if it was 11 episodes?
Possibly. Because after the whole L thing, it wasn't as good.
Yeah, but that's more than 11.
True.
A lot more.
Yeah, true. But... I don't know. I mean...
I don't think you get to see as much character progression with Light. You wouldn't see him with his family. You wouldn't see the relationship between him and Ryuk build up. You wouldn't get as much of Elle's character and backstory in.
True.
You connect more with the characters when you know them more. So I think in this one, had we actually seen what they'd gone through and seen them growing up and how they escaped...
Yeah, that'd have been what I'd have added to it.
Because we
The
don't
whole
know
backstory.
anything. It's like, alright then, You terrorists now.
Yeah.
Why? What was so awful that you feel the need to do this?
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing I did want to add as well. I really, really love how thought out it all was.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the riddles and all that, it was really, really thought out, and with like the history and like mythology sort of stuff that they put behind it as well.
Yeah, Oedipus and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was geniusly thought out.
I don't think there was enough of that though.
No, there wasn't. That was in episode 2. That was the bit that really got me hooked on it. Of when it had that real Death Note feel to it. Of when like Elle was sending out the messages in prison and all that, and trying to figure out the Death Note and all that. It was kind of that sort of feel to it.
It felt like they were playing with the police, and it showed how smart they are, but they only did it like, what, 2-3 times?
Yeah, they did it for the first couple of episodes, and then after that it was like, right, we've loaded the person out, let's just crack on with this.
That's what I mean, too short. I think that's the problem. So
yeah, I felt like it could have gone for a lot longer, which honestly I think it had the potential to be a 10 out of 10 if they'd have just done that and like done what you said, put the backstory in, maybe done the...
If they'd put some more effort in it and not fobbed it off at 11 episodes.
Yeah, which is a real shame.
It felt very rushed.
Honestly, I've not checked out whether it's a manga actually and how long the manga ran for. So maybe in that case...
Salaganda.
You can look it up. Yeah, maybe in that case we could have got more out of it if we read the mangas, maybe. Maybe it'll give more of the backstory or something like that. But, like I said, I'd have to check it out. You got it there yet?
It just says it's a Japanese anime television series.
So did it not get a manga then? Oh, that's interesting. So, is it a anime? Oh, I can't even spell. Yeah, sorry, is it an anime that's just got...
You know what you said about Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah.
Same director.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah. That would make sense. That's why it's such a similar
and,
art style.
Same composer. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop's Watanabe.
Right.
Don't think it's a manga though.
No, I'm looking at the same thing here and it's not. It's literally just an anime,
Yeah.
so that's something.
Just keep saying animated series. I keep searching for manga, but
Yeah, that's what I've just done. So there you go then, guys. It's something that only got an anime. It went straight to anime. It's not one that...
also there's a lot of people agreeing that it starts off really strong and then kind of peters off in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think 8 is the right score.
Do you know?
I'd give it 6.
Really?
Like, on reflection now, discussing it properly, it feels like they could have done a lot more.
No, I'd stick with 8, but simply just for the fact that what we had, I really, really enjoyed. That being said...
You're very easy to please, though.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Shut up. Yeah, I really, really like the story. I really like what they did with it. The only downside I've got with it is I think it could have ran for longer because they could have put more elements into it.
I just felt like they didn't put enough effort into it. But yeah, you can stick with 8 if you want. But it's hot as hell in here, so can we just come to a conclusion?
Yeah, we can start to wrap this up a little bit.
No, can we just wrap it up? Not start to wrap it up. Can we just wrap it up?
Either way, guys, so that's been Terror in Resonance. We gave a score on each different thing, come out with an 8 out of 10. Jimus disagrees with the story slightly, but either way, somewhere between 6 and 8, maybe a 7. Either way, that's been it for this week, guys. We will be back next week, probably not with a review, probably back to talking about different genres of anime and stuff like that.
Good. Then I'll have more to say.
Okay. That being said, we will see you guys later. So bye from me.
My name is Jeff.
Apparently bye from Jeff. We'll see you guys
That's how
later.
views end their podcast. It works for them.
Okay. See you guys later. Bye for now. Guy.
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 Bye.